So here we are with another Natter That Matters, because all conversations count, the ones in your head and the ones outside of yourself, especially when it's with a like-minded, like-hearted soul like the lovely Jen Thomas. Hello, welcome to A Natter That Matters.
Oh, thank you, darling. It's so good to be here, finally.
Finally. We feel like we know people, don't we, when we meet them on the internet and we follow them and we chat. It's really hard. Sometimes I think, did I meet you in real life or haven't sometimes I get myself a bit confused, perimenopause and all that, really. So I don't know if you do that with people as well. But
all the time, darling. And I'll throw in well, maybe did I just meet you in a previous life?
Definitely. The lady I just interviewed, we'd definitely been around a campfire before. I could see it, I could smell it, it was definitely there. So it's been lovely, very warm, it's nice. So anyway, introduce yourself, Jen. I think people have got a measure of you already, by the way, just the fact that you're going to make that statement, because some people go, what? But yes, introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you. So I'm Jen Thomas. I am a priestess under goddess Isis. I'm a qualified coach as well, an NLP practitioner. So I'm all about the heart and the mindset with the soul set, if you like. That's a whole new word I've never said before. And I'm really passionate about emotions, and I'm passionate about emotions in the way that we work, whether that be in how we run our businesses or how we work if we're in paid employment, for example. So I'm fortunate enough to be a TEDx speaker, and I delivered a TEDx called Putting Emotion Back in Business.
Oh, I love that. Lovely.
And if you've got a spare 10 minutes, it's on YouTube if you ever want to go and watch it.
Is it on your website? If we go to your website, is your YouTube? Yes, I'll drop the link under here so people come and find you. I'm definitely going to watch that. Lovely.
Thank you. Good. Yeah, let me know. And your listeners, let me know what comes up for you during it. I get something quite different actually each time I watch it, and it's a few years old now. And yes, I'm also just recently a published author, like your good self.
Oh, I know. Do you know, I forget to mention that. 2009, that was nearly 6 years ago. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long time, isn't it? Goes quick. Yeah, I'm actually writing another one, which is a lot more. It's a bit different. It's not a business book, let's put it that way. Yes, it's more my story. It's quite a bit gritty in places, I think. Tell us about your book then. Tell us. Is it out yet?
It is. It's called Nature's Wisdom, Life Lessons from Mother Earth.
Oh, nice.
So it's kind of like Aesop's Fables meets Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh, but without the judgment.
Oh, I love that description. Is that what your précis on the book says? It's a bit I love that.
Yeah, so look, it's a spiritual guide essentially, but helping. So I'm all about, as a spiritual coach and spiritual mentor, I'm all about making this stuff, this woo-woo stuff, totally accessible. You know, it's not, you don't have to have a special gift or be chosen. We all have the ability to feel, which is essentially, at the very bases of any kind of spiritual connection is what's there. So what I love about nature is that it's everywhere. It's tangible. It's not ethereal like angels are. Right. And I know many of us can see spirit guides and angels, etc., but you can touch nature, you can feel it, you can see it, it's real and tangible. So it's about working with nature as your very own personal oracle.
I love it. And it's free, nature. That's the other thing, isn't it? You can always go and hug a tree. Like, the tree's never going to say, oh, that's £50, thank you for that therapy. No, it doesn't. Well, I've never found one that did that. Let's put it that way, yes. A bit of ground and it says, oh, this is sacred ground, by the way, thanks, that'll be £100. No, yeah, I get it. Lovely. What was the inspiration? Was it downloaded or was it from you? Where did it come from?
Yeah, so all of the above, really, which is part of my journey and my story. So up until 8 years ago, I was in corporate marketing, sat behind a desk, like many people, and very firmly in my spiritual closet. I suppressed it within, I wouldn't even admit it to myself, let alone anybody else. Having all these intuitive experiences. And so part of my spiritual awakening and coming out of my spiritual closet and being my true self included interspecies communication.
Ooh. What, like of intergalactic or on this planet? What kind of
this planet? I mean, it sounds off the planet, but this planet. So
I've got a client who's an animal communicator, and actually we just won, I don't know if you know actually, but we just won a session, and I've got 4 dogs, so my wife's a dog behaviourist. I don't know if you know this, but she's going to do an animal communication with our dogs.
Awesome.
Can't wait, because they're
Awesome.
rescued. Like to know, you know,
right.
And she also, through the animal, I don't know, sorry to go off on a tangent, but she can actually give that the animals have got advice for us, because of course they have
exactly
kind of thing you're talking about.
Exactly that. So life lessons from Mother Earth.
Lovely, I love it. Oh, I'm so into this book.
Yeah, so I have like this amazing person that you've connected with that's going to work with you, your wife and your dogs. Amazing. So I can communicate just like everybody else can. It's just that I know how. With animals, with trees, with the sky, the earth. It's essentially all energy. We're just reading it in a different way than how we've been taught.
So, oh, bloody hell, look at the weather. It's all grey and dark. I'm like, ooh, I know. Isn't it amazing? Like, I'm just, as I'm talking to you, I'm watching the grey cloud come over. I've got a window in front of me. I'm like, ooh, what's that about? I find it really exciting. We've had some really amazing weather, haven't we, the last few days here in the UK? So, yeah.
Yeah, and there's guidance in there. You know, I'm a great believer in our environment being a metaphor for what's going on in here or in our subconscious. You know, our environment is a reflection, a mirror, as are our pets, for what is going on in here. It's like having your secrets revealed to you 24/7.
Oh, I can't wait. My wife will like that book as well. So how did you know you could do this? And that's the $1 million question.
That's $1 million question, right? You mean like it wasn't just screamingly obvious to me?
Corporate wheel. Most women are. I mean, most of the women I interview on here have been in that left brain corporate. They're, you know, the feminine freedom screaming for, you know, to get out of them. Very common. Me included, actually, when I was about 29. So mine happened through trauma. Actually, I just started a counselling course to be a counsellor, a person-centered counsellor. So I started in that film, and then my mum got really ill, and I just remember thinking, oh, there's no coincidence that I've just started this, where I've got all these supportive, lovely people. All they're doing is listening, essentially. And I've never talked about how I felt really about a load of shit that had happened in my life, and my mum being my world. No coincidence in this. And at the same time, my best friend said, will you come to a spiritual development circle with me? And I said, oh, why? What is it? She said, oh, well, we sit around and we do this. I went, oh. She said, we'll go for dinner after it every week. And I was like, I'm in. So she got me there on going for dinner on a Tuesday night. That's the true story. But I look at that little tiny segment of my life and think, thank fuck. I don't know what would have happened to me if I hadn't realized there was more to life than just me working and, you know, going up the career ladder. So that was mine. So you were 8 years ago in your career. What happened?
Not that dissimilar a story, and I think this happens a lot, you know, whether, you know, it's women or intuitive, spiritually focused women, I don't know, but I burnt out, so I had the breakdown, which was essentially this beautiful, snot bubbly, volcanic eruption of suppressed trauma, of multiple different sources, and out it came through a burnout, which honestly was, you know, it's easy to say here on the other side of it, but it was the best thing that ever happened for me. It truly was. It was painful and horrible and awful at the time, and very woe is me, but it ultimately set me free. And so I retrained as an NLP practitioner and life coach. And when I launched my business, I did what all us amazing business women do, and I went out networking. It was like, I need to go and have some human connection again and meet people, but I need to promote my business. And through networking, I met my very first spiritual mentor, who said to me, "Oh, you can speak to animals, right?" And I burst out laughing. I went, "Don't be so fucking ridiculous." And
sorry, anybody listening, there's a little snort down. I do apologize.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, no apologies for the sweary Mary, but we'll apologize for snorting.
I will F and jab until the moment I die. In fact, that will probably be my last word. I'm fucking out of here. That's probably what I'll say. I'm out of here. I'm going home. Thanks. No, that'll be my last phrase. But yes, the snort is not acceptable. Oh, that is funny. Again, no.
Oh, brilliant. You've got to love a good snort. I love a good snorting laugh. So after I'd finished snorting, belly laughing, about speaking with animals, and she was very kind in my response as well. She was like, "No, seriously, like you just don't realize that you're doing it." And then the universe just started delivering me synchronicity and aligned opportunity, one after the other. One of them being a talk about animal communication in a little tiny village hall, like 10 minutes down the road from me, that I hadn't even ever heard of, delivered by a woman visiting from South Africa.
Oh, really lovely little web that's been spun for you then. Nice.
Yeah. And yeah, so I went there and she described this whole interspecies communication, and I was sitting there going, "Oh my God, that's what I do. Oh my God, that's what I do." Oh, that's one of the things I do. And I'd all, I was very much down the spiritual path by then. I was meditating every day. I was downloading guidance in my journal every day by then. I was coming out of my spiritual closet by then.
Well-behaved spiritualist. Look at that. All the perfect practice. Love it.
Yeah. And all this, beautiful, batshit bonkers, magical life started to unfold. And then, so this wonderful South African lady, my animal communication now mentor, Winter Worsthorne, connected me then with a charity that I now support lovingly and proudly so, the Global White Lion Protection Trust. Okay. And these white lions are based in South Africa. And my late father was South African as well. So that was another little magical connection there. And in communication with one of these incredible, sacred, beautiful white lions, one of them invited me to write a book called Nature's Wisdom, Life Lessons from Mother Earth, and said to me, "It is about sharing nature's wisdom to help humanity come home to herself."
Wow, I'm so to my client. You two, you probably don't have to speak. You do it all telepathically, probably, or through some animals. Actually, when I listen, it's crazy what we don't know we can do, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Half of it as humans, we haven't really evolved as much as we could do at all, have we? Like, we don't know our powers. We had powers of teletransportation and stuff back in the day, didn't we? Apparently, if you
back in the day.
I think I was probably there. You probably were as well. We were there gliding around in energy, just kind of going wherever we liked. Yeah, this is amazing.
But I think it's such a interesting perspective. And I share this quite a lot, actually. The story of Roger Bannister breaking the 4-minute mile. And nobody could do it. And as soon as he broke it, then many other athletes started being able to break the 4-minute mile, because our conscious and subconscious minds suddenly go, "Oh, it's possible."
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
And it's the same with communication, heart communication, and energy reading.
Did people. So what's your business now then, Jen? So how does it, so somebody's listening to this going, oh, that sounds amazing. I need to know more, or I think that's happening to me, or I want it to happen to me. What's the first step into your world? How do they come and find out more about this? Is this what you do on a day-to-day basis now?
It is. This is my full-time job now. I love it.
It's my full-time job. I sit and have a lovely chat about all sorts of stuff for part of mine. Listen to a load of stuff for another part. It's just brilliant. I love it. It's like, yeah, that whole you talk too much at school has become an absolute asset to me. It's lady. So yeah, what do they do? How do they get you? I'm obviously going to put the website down, a link here so you can find Jen. But what's the first step towards you?
So I run a spiritual club, an online spiritual club. So it's globally accessible. We run it on Zoom. I do it twice a week, on a Monday evening and a Friday morning. And it's this beautiful, magical, safe space, no matter where you're at on your spiritual path and your journey, because I know that every single person's journey is unique to them. And so there is no, I'm more spiritual than anybody else. We are all as spiritual as each other. And I'm always learning as well as always teaching, you know.
I love to hear that, because there shouldn't be, should there? And you think when people are spiritually minded, it's a bit like people who are Christians, they should have that compassion. But it doesn't always, there is definitely a lot of postulating in the spiritual world. I've experienced it myself. In fact, the only thing I really go to is spiritual churches. Even then, there's a little bit of a, we're the holding, there's a little bit of that still goes on, but it's probably the least I've seen. Certainly on the online space, there's a lot of that goes on, most definitely. So that's nice. So people can come no matter where they're at with it, even if they think they're just batshit crazy, which they probably are, or they're advanced and they're looking for some level of advancement. Brilliant. So there's a club. What else have you got? What else can we do?
All the things. So then if nature's your access point, and nature is, as you say, it's free, she's free, and you want that kind of access. So because I'm a nature lover and part of my soul mission is to connect humanity back to themselves through nature and recognizing that we are part of nature and one, I didn't want to sacrifice any trees in creating this book. So Nature's Wisdom, Life Lessons from Mother Earth, is on a digital platform called Substack, which is a writer's platform for writers, but anyone can read it. So I'm sharing every week. You get a new chapter on my life, my utterly batshit bonkers life journey, from corporate burnout to spiritual awakening, and I can talk to animals. Who knew? And alongside it, you get the life lesson from Mother Earth, and that's just £8 a month, and you get coaching from me on the platform in the comments as well.
Oh, okay, lovely. Sounds good. So more kind of asynchronous coaching kind of stuff with a bit of a blog, but it's kind of inspirational. Am I getting the vibe of this?
Yeah, so I describe it as an interactive ebook.
Excuse me, I have a little cough. Interesting, isn't it? I wonder what that is. I'm asking myself, what is that about?
Yeah, got some truth to speak, my love. Some truth to speak.
Out in nature a bit more. I'm probably not doing it enough. I'm probably getting a nag from my spirit team, I would imagine. It's true, I've not really been out of this desk all day, so I'm probably getting, you go out in the sun. Also, I need to share with you, sorry to interrupt, but the journey of the cloud, since you've been talking about your journey, has followed it. So I've had all the, and now it's all that, as you started to talk about that kind of breakthrough and the bounce back, it's all become blue skies and lovely. It's like the journey of you in front of me. Very lovely. Love that. Yeah, very nice.
She is our greatest teacher. As I said at the beginning, there's this oracle all around us. Even if you're in a city, even if you're stuck indoors, in the pandemic when we were stuck indoors so much, nature will find a way to reach you, whether it is the ladybird that is just awakening out of hibernation on your windowsill, or whether you're in a city and there are dandelions coming up through the pavement, she will find a way to reach you.
100%. When we got married 11/11 to 2021. I was gutted we didn't meet in 2011. I wanted to get married 11, but we were 10 years late. And where we got married was a beautiful a place called Pentley Abbey in Norfolk, which is stunning. It's like a 16th century tower that's got like, it's just lovely. And I was terrified because they kept saying that sometimes where our service was, there's bats, and I've got a real fear of bats from an experience I had when I was a child. You're not going to coach me through that. It's fine. I've come to terms with it. I just don't want to deal with it. But I was scared. And actually on the day, it was really interesting because as I went to walk down the aisle, as it was, on the windowsill were 2 butterflies playing, and I absolutely knew that was my parents. Immediately knew it was my parents, and I knew that for some reason they were protecting me from the bats, because we never saw a bat the whole time, because I was terrified of these bats. So you're absolutely right, these messages that come, and some of us recognize them. The most I think I hear people talk about is a robin, like the grandparents come as a robin, or some protection, or we've got a puppy, a chalky puppy, and every day she brings me, not Emma, a feather from the garden. Bizarre. Different styles. Some of them are, I don't genuinely, where is she finding these? Like, she's got a little stash that she's ordered in from Amazon. She's just bringing them over Tuesday. It's crazy, right? She brings Emma stones. I mean, all sorts of stones. We don't know where she gets them from, and she brings me feathers. What is that about? Like, that's crazy.
Right. So, but I love this. I can't tell you how much I love this. So stones, grounding.
Yeah, Manita.
Feathers, more ethereal, more light-hearted. So it's almost like she's saying to you, you are the perfect balance together.
Oh, I never saw it like that. That's exactly what it is. Emma's very grounded. She's the truth. I would say, oh, should we do this? Oh, we need to think about that. And what we'll do this. She'll ground the idea, whereas I'll fly high, basically. Yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh, how bizarre. I'll tell her that. Talk to us on Friday. We could sit and talk all day, couldn't we? I've had this all day.
Happily so.
We really would. We should do it more often, really. So what's the future then, Jen? So the book's launched and we've got this lovely membership and all sorts of different things going on that people can come and get. What's the big dream? What's the vision?
The big dream. So business-wise, Spiritual Club is growing, which is awesome. So the more people I can reach and help to feel really comfortable, not just okay and comfortable with who they truly are, but learn to access their skills and use them. So I also train priestesses, so that's my group program, which is up and growing, and people can join the wait list and find out more about that. And also coming later this year, drum roll, it is my program called Strong Enough.
Oh,
and this is
I've got a lot of share coming out of my head for a moment there.
nice.
That's a stage song, right? Definitely.
Right, there you go. That'll be my walk on the stage song. So yeah, because as we women, particularly those of us that are neurodivergent, super sensitive, highly intuitive, we've experienced trauma in many different shapes and forms in this lifetime and many others. And we have been conditioned and institutionalized to A, believe that we're not strong enough, and B, believe that our emotions, and particularly the emotion of love, is something fluffy and weak. And yet it is our greatest energetic strength. And we women, we are strong enough, and we are our future. We are the new earth leaders. And yeah, but I think it's also helping. So part of the work that I do is helping women to heal the masculine. So I don't know about you, but when I was in corporate, I lived in masculine energy. It was my coping mechanism. It was what I believed, or who I believed I had to be in order to thrive.
Got to compete with the guys, got to have the best KPIs, got to have the best performing team, got to bring in the projects in under budget and higher perform 100%. Yeah, I work for some of the big works for it, yeah, in different parts and different industries, work for big design agencies, pitching for business, where they'd be, they've got very, when you look at, in fact, that film What Women Want, that reminds me of what it was like. It was like that back in my
It was
early
like that. Yeah.
very male dominated, all right, darling, put the kettle on. I'd be like that. I don't think so, love. Can you imagine me? I'd be like, kettle? I didn't even know what the kettle was like, to be honest. I haven't made a cup of tea since I was 5 years old. I've got people that do that for me. No, I didn't do that really, but it was very much that. It was very much like that. So yes, yeah, having to be in that.
And that's still prevalent in a lot of industries. So there is this kind of, I call it a corporate hangover. And many of us have very subtly brought it with us into our own businesses. It's very subtly sitting there in the background. So I help women to heal their trauma. I'm a trauma-informed angel guide and NLP coach and therapist. And I've experienced my own delightful traumas as well, which have strengthened me, shall we say, over the years. So yeah, strong enough. We are strong enough.
I'm singing it. You're going to sing it every time you think of it now.
Yeah, but I love this, just this blend and this connection with nature, because there is Mother Earth, Gaia, showing us for billions of years how strong she is and has become through all the shit she's journeyed through. And all the shit she's put us through, we've put her through, and she still loves us for it,
Absolutely. Well, Jen, it's been a delight. All good things have to come to an end, because then we can start them again. That's my thought process, right? Otherwise, it would just be a continuum and we wouldn't know the difference between the light and the dark. We have to have that. So it's been an absolute joy to have you here, as you say, finally. Do go and find Jen. Her website details, revitalizecoaching.co.uk, are underneath here. So go and find her. I'm sure you can find all the loveliness that goes on there, and get involved and, learn more about yourself, because, all conversations count, including the ones in your head and with animals and nature. Got to add that now to my podcast title, haven't I? All conversations count. So it's been a joy. Thank you, Jen.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It has been an absolute pleasure.